Yeah, good morning and welcome back to the class. We are into the quadratic equation. We have just started solving quadratic equation using the first method, that is the factorization method. So there are two things we have done in the class last class. We have first tried to frame the quadratic equation with the given situation and then also tried to uh, solve the quadratic equation using the first method, which we have already done in class 9, and we have done a revision in the previous class, that is the factorization method. So we will continue with that in exercise 4.2. I have taken down the first two problems. Quickly we should be able to do it. Actually you don't require my help here, still I am doing because factorization is very important. That's a very easy method which you should be able to do without any problem. All right. And those who are joining the meeting, please keep your audio video muted so that you don't interfere with my video while you are joining. Sri Lakshmi, I'm talking to you only. Please keep your audio and video muted while you join the meeting, because otherwise your screen will get shared when you're joining. Please keep it in mind, all of you. Don't interfere with my screen because already I have started speaking. All right, we will take the first problem now, that is x square minus 3x minus 10 equals 0, which I have to solve. I have to get the roots of this quadratic equation. As I had discussed in the previous class, the quadratic equation will have a maximum of 2 roots. These roots may be identical or they may be distinct. That means both the roots of a quadratic equation may be identical or same, or in some instances they will be distinct. So what is the condition for that? We will take it up a little later. But now we know that given a quadratic, I should have 2 roots for it. Roots means the zeros of that given quadratic polynomial. So we are going to find the zeros of this quadratic polynomial by the factorization method. So for the factorization method, I have to split the middle term. The middle term is negative 3x. Now I have to find two integers whose product and sum. Product should be negative 10 and the sum should be negative 3. So which are the two numbers which integers, if I take, the product will become negative 10 but the sum will be negative 3.
Negative 5 and
Negative 5
positive
and positive
Negative
2.
5 and positive 2. So you have to split the middle term as negative 5 and positive 2. Now you can go on. Please see if you are able to solve that equation like that. The quadratic equation can be solved. I am just trying to click the photograph. That's why it's taking time. You can continue. Okay, so we have negative 5 and positive 2 as the two integers. So the middle term is split as x square minus negative 5x and a positive 2x minus 10 equals 0. The negative 3x is split as negative 5x and positive 2x. So that when you add them, you get a negative 3x. And when you multiply them, you get a negative 10. Now you know there are certain factors which are common in the first two terms and the last two terms. Here the common term is x, so x minus 5. In the second two terms, the common factor is 2, because 2 into x, 2x, 2 into negative 5 will become negative 10. And hence you will see, just give me 2 minutes, adding them is a real problem to me. Okay, so now you have this quadratic in this form. So x minus 5 is a common factor for both the terms. So it will be x minus 5 times x plus 2. So you have factorized the quadratic into two linear factors. Now to get the roots of the quadratic, you have to equate both the linear terms that you have got to 0. That means your x minus 5 should be equated to 0 as well as x plus 2 will be equated to 0, which will give you the value of x is equal to 5 or x is equal to negative 2. So these are the two roots of the given quadratic equation. Therefore, roots of the quadratic x square minus 3x minus 10 equals 0 are 5 and negative 2. This is how you must complete the problem. Alright, so this is the simple factorization method we have done so far. Alright, so try doing the second one now. The second one is 2x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. So you have to find out the product of two numbers or two integers will be negative 12 and the sum should be positive 1. You should think of two integers. How did you decide that it is negative 12 and positive 1? This also I told you last year.
The
If
coefficient of
of x square is anything other than 1, you must multiply it with the coefficient of the constant term. So I get that as 2 into negative 6, which is negative 12. So the product should be negative 12 and the sum should be positive 1. Which are the two integers which will multiply?
positive
4 and negative 3.
Yes, positive 4 and negative 3. So you can split the middle term now as positive 4 and negative 3. So your quadratic will become in this form. The positive 1x will be written as positive 4x minus 3x minus 6 equals 0. Now in the first two terms, 2x is common. So it becomes x plus 2. Again, in the second and the third and the fourth term, the negative 3 is common. So the negative 3 into x is negative 3x, negative 3 into positive 2, negative 6. So you are able to factorize it like this. Now x plus 2 is common among both the terms. So that is removed and then you are able to factorize the quadratic as the product of two linear polynomials. Now to get the zeros, you have to equate the linear factors to 0. So your x will become negative 2 or your 2x is equal to 3, which means x equals 3 by 2. So this will be the solution for your given or the roots for the given quadratic equation 2x squared plus x minus x equals 0. So you will write down like I did in the previous one, the roots of 2x square plus x minus 6 equals 0 are x is equal to negative 2 and x is equal to 3 by 2. So we'll go on with some more problems because this I'm quite expecting in section B. Factorize the quadratic polynomial into linear factors. Very, very common question in section B. So we should be thorough with our factorization method. So I am taking the other 3 problems also. Let me take it up and do because there are some irrational coefficients which may worry you. So let me see if I can take up the other problem also. Can I clear the first one by the time? That's why I have maintained the board in an angle so at least 2 problems at a time I am able to show on the board. Okay, the third question has got some irrational coefficients which should not bother you because again these irrational coefficients are the ones which are frequently asked. So root 2 times x square plus 7x plus 5 root 2 equals 0. Now this may worry you a little. Why should I have these kind of irrational coefficients? Is what which may worry you. Don't worry about that. See, they will become very ordinary ones. So now the product should be, because you have a coefficient of x square as any other number other than 1, this has to be multiplied with the coefficient of the constant term which is 5 root 2. So 5 root 2 into root 2. That is 5 into root 2 into root 2 which will become 10. Because it is 5 into 2. Root 2 and root 2 will multiply to become 2. 5 into 2 will become 10 with a positive sign. And the sum should be positive 7. So think of two integers which will multiply together to give you a
Ma'am,
positive
positive 5 and
positive 5 and
positive 2.
positive 2.
Yeah, it will be 5 positive 5 and positive 2. So when I multiply them, I get 10 and when I add them, I'm going to get a positive 7. So I need to split my middle term like this. That is 5x plus 2x plus 5 root 2 equals 0. So this is how it is split. Now what should I take common from here?
X.
Yeah, it must be x because there's nothing else which is common. So it will be root 2 times x plus 5. Again, this will be root 2 times x plus 5. So what is that common factor? It will be positive root 2. Positive root 2 into root 2 into root 2 is 2 with an x. 5 into root 2 will be 5 root 2. Now what is common between these two terms? It is root 2 times x plus 5, which will be multiplied with x plus 2. So this is how it is factorized. I hope you are following the steps. So now what should be the roots of the given equation? What should I do? I have to equate the two linear factors to 0 to get the value of x. So the first one will be this, the second one will be equated to 0. So here your x will be negative 5 divided by root 2 and here x will be just negative root 2. So those will be the two roots of the given equation. I hope it's visible. Equate the first linear factor to 0, you get x is equal to negative 5 divided by root 2. Here x will be just negative root 2. So these are the two roots of the given quadratic equation. Root 2 times x square plus 7x plus 5 root 2 equals 0. So we'll try the next one also because that is having a fractional coefficient. So this was an irrational coefficient that we have dealt with. Now we will move with the fractional coefficient also. I am definitely expecting one of this question in the board. So please see that the factorization method is thoroughly learned. It is a quick revision of what we have done in the last class. That means, that's why I was telling you, 9th standard algebra is very, very important for us to carry over to the 10th standard. So many of them getting added. All right, I have put them in. Okay, taking up the fourth problem where you have 2x square minus x plus 1 by 8 equals 0. Now this is also going to bother you because there is some fractional coefficient sitting for the constant term. Alright, so what should I do when I have a fraction? I multiply the entire equation with 8 because the denominator 8 has to be eliminated. So this will become 16x squared minus 8x plus 1 equals 0. That means you are multiplying the entire equation with 8 so that this fraction will get converted into a whole number. So this is a very simple step that you have to follow whenever you have fractional coefficient in any of these terms. Now because 8 was that which was sitting in the fraction, I had to multiply throughout with 8 and hence I have ended up with this quadratic. Now this is a very simple quadratic in the form ax square minus bx plus c equals 0. So I have to find out the product as 16 into 1 which is positive 16 and the sum should be negative 8. I should think of two integers which will multiply together to form positive 16 but will sum up to negative 8. Can you think of two integers?
Negative 4 and
Ma'am,
negative
negative 4 and
Yes,
negative
very
4.
good. Negative 4
and positive 4.
So split the
Negative
maximum sums. It will be 16x squared minus 4x plus 1 equals 0. Or I can say this is having 4x as a common factor. So with this a negative 1 will be 0. Or you can say 4x minus 1 into again 4x minus 1 will become equal to 0. So I have both the linear factors identical. I told you that's why. In a quadratic equation, sometimes the zeros will be distinct. That means different ones, or they may be identical. So here you are going to get identical roots. So you equate 4x minus 1 equal to 4x minus 1 equal to 0. Again it is 4x minus 1 equal to 0. Or your x will be 1 by 4 in the first case. Again 1 by 4 in the second case also. So these are identical roots for the quadratic equation. So this quadratic has got identical roots. There are conditions that you can find out whether a quadratic will have distinct and real roots or identical and real roots. That we will take it up in the future classes. We will see. Even before finding the solution, you will be able to tell whether you are going to get distinct roots or you will get identical roots. So there's one more. We will quickly take that up also. Why should I leave the last one? That was complete here. That is quite simple. Should be able to do. Try it. If you've already finished the fourth one, go on to the fifth one and try completing it. Okay, that is 100x square minus 20x plus 1 equals 0. So this is my quadratic. I have a middle term, I have a coefficient other than 1. So my product will be a positive 100 and the sum should be negative 20. Can you think of two integers whose product will be positive 100 but the sum will be negative 20?
Negative 10 and negative 10.
Negative 10 and negative.
When you multiply negative into negative, it becomes a positive 100. When you add, you get negative 10 plus negative 10 becomes negative 20. So the splitting of the middle term should be very easy. It will be negative 10x. Again, a negative 10x plus 1 equals 0. Now the 10x is common. So it will become a 10x minus 1. Again, a 10x minus 1 with a negative 1 as a common factor. So you will have your 10x minus 1 again multiplied with 10x minus 1. So again you are getting identical roots. So your x will be 1 by 10. So 10x minus 1 equals 0. Again 10x minus 1 equals 0, which means x will be 1 by 10 in the first case. Again x will be 1 by 10 in the second case also. Alright, so those are the problems that we have discussed very, very easily we could do because we know our factorization method. So I hope it is clear. Now we will go on to the word problem. The equation is given and you should be able to find out or frame the equation and then go to solve the equation. So we will take it up quickly now. We will start with the word problem. There was one word problem which I had to skip because of lack of time. But we will come back to exercise 4.1, the train problem. Please keep your audio muted. Otherwise, next class I'm not going to admit those people who are disturbing me. Because I'm recording, I can clearly see who is disturbing me. After 3 months of online classes, still our discipline is not developing at all. I don't know what we should do with you. Then what can I expect from my lower classes? The 6, 7, 8 and 9? If the 10th is like this. Almost from March end we are connected. Still we have lots of problem maintaining the forum in the class. Okay, so I am in the last problem in exercise 4.1 which I had to skip. Many were asking me doubts. I didn't reply there because I thought okay, together in the class only I will solve it. So a train travels a distance of 480 kilometers. I am at page number 74. Please come back to page number 74. Chandana is getting added so late. Don't know what she was doing. Yeah, okay. A train travels a distance of 480 kilometers at a uniform speed. If the speed has been 8 kilometers per hour less, then it would have taken 3 hours more to cover the same distance. We need to find the speed of the train. Rohit also is late. Okay, those who are joining late, please see that you join the class in time. I know there are various excuses that you have for not joining in time, but also remember you are wasting somebody else's time. So when you realize that, you will overcome your shortcomings and join in time. This is the reason I send the link very much in advance. Please plan your work or plan your difficulties that you have so that you can avoid making somebody else wait because you are not able to join. Because this is a big disturbance for all of us who are already in the meeting. Okay, we have to find the speed of the train. So I told you what they are asking will be my assumption also. Let the speed of the train be x kilometers per hour. This is the original speed. So what is the decreased speed?
X minus 8
at a
kilometers.
speed of 8 kilometers less, no? If the speed has been 8 kilometers per hour less, so the decreased speed will be x minus 8 kilometers per hour. So the original speed, if I take it as x, the decreased speed will be x minus 8. Now the time duration is given for the same travel. First the train is traveling at the original speed, then it is traveling at a decreased speed. So in both the cases, the distance traveled is the same. So the time taken will be different, of course, because the same distance if I travel with x kilometers per hour and then later on less than x kilometers per hour, there will be a difference in the time. So where do you think it will be more time, the duration will be more in the original speed or with the decreased speed?
Mom, decreased speed.
Yes, because once your speed has decreased, you will take a longer time to reach your destination. This is very, very common logic that we have. So the difference in the time between these two travel is given as 3 hours. In the second case, it is taking 3 hours more than the first case. Or I can say, in other words, the difference in the time required for the travel is equal to some 3 hours it is given. So I have to convert the speed and the distance in terms of the time. The distance traveled is 480 kilometers. It is the same distance traveled in both the cases. Okay, now I know my distance. Sorry, the speed is equal to distance by time. This is a common formula that I know. Speed is equal to distance by time. So if I want time to be written in terms of distance and speed, it will be written like this. Time taken will be equal to distance by the speed. So in the first case where the train is traveling at the original speed, the time taken will be distance, which is 480 divided by x. And in the second case, the time taken will be again distance, which is 480 divided by the speed, which is x minus 8. Now where is it taking more time? In the second case. So I will write 480 by x minus 8 minus 480 divided by x equals 3. This is a very, very important thing that I am showing you. How is this quadratic coming in? This is the speed, this is the time taken with the decreased speed. And this is the time taken with the original speed. How this is the time taken? Because time is distance by speed. Distance is 480, speed is x minus 8 with a decreased speed. This is distance is 480 with the original speed. It is 480 by x, which is the time taken. So time taken in the second case is more because the speed is less. The time taken in the first case is less because the speed is more. So this is a bigger duration and this is a smaller duration. So always the subtraction should happen. Small is taken away from the larger one. So 480 by x minus 8 minus 480 by x equals 3. Now you know how to cross multiply this and take the quadratic. Should I still show you how to do it, or will you be able to continue? You tell me.
Mom, can we stop here?
No. Oh my God, what is asked? Find the speed of the train. It is said no. Then how will you stop here, my dear? You have to create the quadratic. Where is the quadratic here? Who asked this question? I didn't see who was asking. Can you see the quadratic already here? Where I am not seeing any x square term at all. Then how will you stop here? You have to cross multiply and simplify. So this you can do it either taking 480 as a common term and seeing it like this, or you can simply cross multiply and take this product to the RHS. Should I do it? If I have to do it, please tell me now, because after the class then 4 or 5 of you texting back to me. Texting back to you all this quadratic equation is very difficult for me. Instead, I can do it on the board itself. So please speak and tell me if I have to continue solving it. If you need help, ask for help, no problem. Nobody is speaking, all are sleeping behind the camera. But after the class, 5-6 of you will type back to me telling, ma'am, don't know what to do. No reply, why? Trying, is it? I am only hoping good things that you are trying. Yes. Yes, Priya? I thought you were wanting to speak. Yes, speak, my dear. I can't hear you.
Ma'am, can you solve this?
Okay, good. Somebody asked me. So instead of asking you later on again and again what did you do, I think I will solve it. Look at the way I am doing it. X minus 8 times divided by x minus 8 into x. It is a simple cross multiplication that I have done. Understood what I have done? Cross multiplying and equating to 3. So it will be 480 times. In the numerator I have x minus x positive 8. Denominator I have x minus 8 into x is equal to 3. Any doubt so far? So this positive x, negative x is gone. I have a 480 multiplied with 8 in the numerator. Clear? 480 multiplied with 8 divided by x minus 8 into x equals 3. Again, this has to be cross multiplied. So 480 into 8 will be equal to 3 times x minus 8 into x. So here also find the product and here also the product. Now you should be able to continue. $3840, yeah, this is equal to 3x into x minus 8, or I can say 3840 equals 3x square minus 24x. Correct? 3x square minus 24x. Sorry, this is not shown. So I transpose everything to the right hand side. So 3x square minus 24x minus 3840 equals 0. Beyond this, at least, do you think we will be able to complete it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now here
Yes,
there is a
ma'am.
common factor. You can divide throughout with 3. Alright? Because all the 3 of them are factors or multiples of 3, I can say. So you can tell it will become x square minus 8x minus 1280. I am dividing throughout with 3. So now you have a simple, beautiful quadratic equation which you should be able to solve to get the value of x.
Ma'am, we are just asked to form the equation. We have just asked to form the equation.
Form the equation. Where? This is only the equation.
Ma'am, should we also find the solution of this?
Yes, because in exercise 4.2, please go to page number 76. You can see the second problem. Solve the problems given in example 1 there, whatever was there.
Ma'am, can we solve this?
Example 1 it is given or exercise 1 it was given? Okay. Now, what is the problem in solving it, my dear children? I have taught you how to do the factorization method. Why are you so upset about not solving it?
Ma'am, we have already written this yesterday. No, ma'am.
Okay,
Ma'am,
never
already
mind.
done.
If you have already written it in your class work, write down the problem once again and complete the solution. What
Yes,
will
ma'am.
happen if this problem comes in the board exam? Will you go and tell my teacher told in the exercise it is only told frame the equation, so we frame the equation and stop, and we did not do the solution. Let us be a little more responsible. We will write down the question once again, frame the equation and solve the equation also. All right. So we will join back. I think I'm in the last minute. Another 15 minutes we will easily get. So join back. I'll just disconnect now and then join back in 2-3 minutes. Okay. Bye.